Hello, and welcome back to my playthrough of GregTech New Horizons. Last week I managed to step into LV, and with that, I thought I would be okay to spend this week to do something big. Before I get really into it, there's some concepts I need to explain, because I think they're important to talk about. There's been a concept of ratios in LV as I've continued my quests. If I want to make a bronze hull, then I need 8 bronze plates, which each cost 2 ingots. So, using a hammer and a wrench, it costs 16 bronze ingots for 1 hull, giving us a ratio of 2 to 1. 2 ingots for 1 plate. At the start, that's the only method available. Once you get into steam machines, you can reduce this amount using the forge hammer. It lets you convert 3 ingots into 2 plates, cutting our material cost from 16 to 12 ingots. This lowers the ratio to 3 to 2. Now that we're in LV, I instantly saw something called the bending machine. This is a trend we'll be following as we continue, but the bending machine has only one realistic use for me, and it's to flatten ingots into plates in a 1-to-1 ratio. There are all kinds of little optimizations like this now that I've gone into LV, especially now that I can use the assembler. It's basically an all-purpose version of the bending machine, but instead of making plates or rods for cheap, it cuts the crafting requirements for the recipes. This week I wanted to make a few storage upgrades for my drawers. The basic recipe is 4 iron plates, 1 iron rod, and 3 upgrade templates, which each require a piston, an oak drawer, and 4 steel screws. While the oak drawers and screws are simple enough, the best optimization here is in the pistons. Each one needs 6 iron ingots, 9 wood, 2 cobblestone, and a red alloy plate. In the assembler, it's reducing the cost to 3 iron, 1 cobblestone, 1 fence, 3 wood slabs, and half a redstone dust. So it cuts the material cost in half simply for costing time to make each item. Like I said last episode, this isn't a flat cut across all recipes, but for most things, it does reduce the amount needed by a large amount. Now, knowing this, when I talk about material costs in the future, assume it's the cheapest method I can use at this point in time. So let's talk about the big thing for this episode. A big problem I've been having is fuel. Moving the fuel, making the fuel, using it, keeping it running, just all of it. It takes so much time to do and manage, and I really want to solve this. My solution is a single block called the Crop Manager. This is a wonderful tool that I'm going to be using going forward. How it works is it takes steam and water and automatically harvests crops in a 5x5 block radius. Last episode I talked about how the BBFs are actually producing steel 33% slower than the max because I'm using charcoal instead of sugar or cactus coke. Today I plan on fixing that by making a tower to produce what I need. In the basement, I'll compress whatever fuel I produce from their individual items into blocks to get the extra conversion bonus. Then I'll have 2 layers of coke ovens funneling into each other to smelt the raw sugar into charcoal and then again into coke. Lastly, on the very top row, I can make a farm using the Crop Manager at its center to automatically harvest sugarcane to throw into the coke ovens. I was worried about weeds forming on my farm, but it turns out weeds only grow on unoccupied crop sticks, so once the field is set up, it will never develop weeds unless something happens to it. This means that as soon as I pipe in water and steam, the farm is done, and now I have practically an infinite fuel source. I calculated that the farm produces enough fuel to power double the amount of BBFs I'm running, so the other half can go back into steam production and other things when I need them. As a last step to complete this, I make another compressor below the first one to make double compressed sugar coke. This, again, doesn't get an extra bonus, but I like the idea of throwing a stack of fuel into the coal boilers and forgetting about it for an entire week, so yeah, that's gonna happen now. Let's get a little tour of the place now that it's all set up. Again, the basement is just bare bones pipes and machines. It's not anything pretty because I really do just want to access it whenever I want, and it's not really going to be like something I frequent. The bottom floor is 18 coke ovens in total, with 9 hoppered into the other half below them to move the charcoal and cook it. Above that, we have some item pipes to quickly move the sugarcane to the coke ovens at a rate of 1 stack every 20 seconds, and at the top, we have the 3-tiered farm that produces the sugarcane to be burned. This farm is made of something called garden soil, which is different from normal tilled dirt because it doesn't need a source of water to exist. That lets me make 3 completely flat layers without needing to make holes to account for that water. I made it using the new assembler and fluid extractor. Using sand and dirt plus 5 milliliters of seed oil gotten from extracting it from normal seeds, you can make 8 at a time, which is honestly really cheap. The blocks I used for decoration were factory blocks. You can chisel them into various forms to alter their look and behavior, and I found these fit really well with the idea behind the building because it really is just a bunch of scrap metal put together to make a behemoth of a system. But now that I've got ample fuel, I decide to put it to use. My LV area has been a small little hole for a while, so I'm going to dig it out and really give myself room to grow here. I think I'll try setting up a more modern area to work with considering the jump in technology, so let me get started on that. Nice. With that out of the way, it's time I address the honestly kind of jank setup I have for my LV machines. How they work currently is that there's a single turbine producing energy for all 5 machines hooked up by cable. This is a problem because the assembler requires massive amounts of power at times, and if I have other stations going at the same time, they almost always power fail due to lack of energy. And power failing on anything greater than the steam machines I used to run ends up removing the materials that are used to craft it. It basically fails to craft the item and completely deletes them. So yeah, not a good thing to do. The solution is, of course, just more power. By giving every machine its own dedicated turbine, I can hopefully prevent the stations from power tripping in the future. It's an expensive fix, but one that should work regardless. Now that that's done, this actually marks an important milestone. I have officially passed the 1-year mark in this world, so let's take a look at my stats real quick as a fun little tangent. Over the course of 109 total hours spent in the world as of writing this, 2.8% of that was spent AFK, or about 3 hours total. I've jumped 126 times an hour, or 13,729 total, killed a total of 403 mobs, and have been killed only 9 times. Overall, I'd say I've done pretty well for someone with no experience in this mod pack or any others. It's strange to say it now, but I've never beaten normal Minecraft now that I think about it. So maybe if I stick with it for long enough, I can technically beat the game for the first time in one of the most convoluted and difficult situations I can possibly create for myself. I've been having a lot of fun with this. Sometimes I get frustrated with the complex recipes or how strange and difficult the mobs tend to be at times, but I really do like this. I enjoy building with blocks that I've never seen before. I enjoy finding ways to make things faster and learning to use new tools to do things I never thought possible. I think the idea that basic recipes are made tedious through the complex crafting is honestly a good thing. Yes, I know. What I'm saying is very contested and people generally disagree about this, but I'm really enjoying the added complexity. It makes you think about what you need and how to get it, and it's never been so difficult where you need to fight withers for diamonds or something. Besides that, I'm still having fun learning how to process materials and balancing everything from the resources to the fuel to the power and everything to the blocks I use to decorate with. Now that I've really stepped into LV with the few machines I have, I'm excited to see what comes next in my journey. For now, this will be where I leave off for the week. Honestly, not too much done in terms of amount, but it's a necessary step to prepare for next week where I'll make the real progress into the tier. I think I've stalled long enough at the entrance to LV, so I say it's time to step it up on the progression. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and leave a comment below if you have any tips for me or just want to say hi. If you wanted to be reminded to come back for next week, hit that subscribe button. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.